Here's the update on my latest in my NPC framework and the Metahuman customizing program. So this is my wardrobe room. That's where we'll all start. And to remind you, the main control is a character base. So this is a character blueprint. And the character blueprint, if I look at it, it's got a character base, and this is what's used for, like, if I'm using locomotion or anything that you'd normally use a character class for. And inside of it is a capsule component for collisions, the um, mesh component, but there's nothing in the mesh. There is no mesh component, but there is a child of that, child actor component called body visual. And body visual is what identifies which metahuman blueprint I've written to use. So I am using one called Ada, but I could change it to another ones. For example, if I say BP NPC and look at the other ones, and I got to get a naming convention here that'll make it easy. I could get Bernice and it would switch it to Bernice, but I want to go back to Ada. BP NPC Ada. We'll use Ada. All right, and the main thing I was working is dressing, which you've seen, and I've gotten that work pretty well, and masks. And this week I discovered, as I was doing more testing, that what I thought was working for masks really wasn't working as well as it should. So here's the improved version of masks. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the character. So I just dropped the character, which we just saw the blueprint for, into the wardrobe room. And let's go ahead. I want to dress it. Dress Ada here. And this is the program. This has gotten even more complicated, but it's my utility to customize metahumans in the editor. I'm obviously running this in the editor, so this is an editor utility blueprint. So I can go say it checks Ada, sees what clothes will fit Ada, which are in a data table. This is all data table driven. So these are the kinds of things that'll fit Ada. So I will say, wear some skinny jeans and 2. I don't like those. How about 1? Yeah, white. How about some shoes? Let's just have some flats. Probably 1. Doesn't matter. Inside 2. Yeah. And a shirt. And here's what drove this whole thing. Now, you've seen me wear, the sweater. And if I put the sweater on, change the material, it fits fine because it's a MetaHuman created clothes that were created with the MetaHuman project, and I downloaded it and put it into here. But I just went out to Fab a while back and pulled down a number of different clothing items, and I pulled down a crop top. And the crop top was a static mesh that came in. I took that static mesh, which is just your regular little static mesh with one simple texture, and it was sized basically for the metahuman, but it wasn't rigged or parametric or anything. It was just a static mesh. So I turned it into a skeletal mesh and weighted it, and so I made it so it would work as a skeletal mesh. And I'll do a little quick utility, or not utility, but video if it's helpful on how to go do that, as it takes 4 or 5 steps and you're done. It's pretty easy. But there's this crop top, and when I brought that in, and I brought that into this is my table for wardrobe items, and it's the bottom one here. I brought in for the torso, female, called it F underscore crop top. It's for a female, and loaded, what kind of body types it'll work on, and so on. And that's, this is a row editor for all that. So I didn't fill out much here. So there it is. So let's go ahead and put the crop top on Ada here. And it's not updating that correctly, but that's fine. But you see, we got some problems. Oh no, can't go out like that. So I have masks, and if you remember that mask, I had like 6 standard ones that would hide different chunks of the body. And all that is it's real simple, but I made them by hand. They're these things, and you've seen these before. They're just the texture of the body. I turned all the elements into white or black and white, and black will hide it, white will save it. And I went ahead and put all that logic to do that inside each of the body materials for each of the metahumans. So this works across all metahumans. So, and also you'll notice I can now. So I got to mask it. So if I try and apply one of those masks, let's hide torso is logical. Okay, let's hide the torso. Oh, well, it hid the chest part here, but it didn't hide the upper arms, and it hid. This is a crop top, so it hid. There's has no midsection. So these things will work for some clothes, but most, they may not. So let's say if I tried to hide the torso and arms, well, it hid too much of the arms. So you can only have so many of these standard, easy to use ones. So I'll hide nothing again. So now what we'll do is I created something called the Custom Mask Painter, and we'll look at it in action. So I selected that and changed menus. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use mesh paint on this mesh over here that I have here. And what I paint on here will show up. It will hide parts of the body over here because it applies a mask dynamically. It just does it every change I make. It applies it because they're sharing the same texture. This is painting the texture, and this is using the texture. That's how all that works. Pretty simple. But if I go, I have to get into paint mode, mesh paint, and I got to select the mesh, and I go to paint. And the main color's got to be black, and this has got to be white. You set your size, your strength correctly. I set it always to pretty small, move it up to 1, have black as a foreground color, and the erase color being white, because white means everything we've shown. So I am going to go at least just hide part of it now. And so, as you can see, it hides. If you see, I'm painting over here, and it's showing up over there on the character. So I've hidden the underlying parts of the body that we're poking through. And I could go through and paint all the rest of the pieces as well. So that means I've got a mask now created, a custom mask that will hide this. So I go to all the other parts of the body too. You know what I'm saying? I could hide. I see a little poke through in the shoe. I could go down there if I wanted to and hide part of the shoe. I don't know if so there, it fixed that, and so on. So wherever there's a poke through, you could go take care of it. And I will call this though hide. I'll call it the mask crop top. Crop top mask. What's that? Crop top mask. I'll save that mask. And it saves the mask into of course, a data table called body masks. So I have saved that. I have saved. Now I need to go ahead and click over here. Now that I've got a body type, I need to get out of Mesh Painter. Sorry. Click on this, so it's selected again, and I need to say save. This will save Ada on it and a data row on the data and the called the NPC variance table. It will save. I need to save this as, I'll call it Ada crop top, right? So this will save it in data, in a data table. It'll save, use these shoes, these pants, that shirt, and the mask I just created, and obviously the underlying Ada character. So I will save. and said it saved it. And if I could show you the tables, and you'd see that it added those lines of entry here. So this is pretty well done now. So I've put it, I've fixed it up in the wardrobe quickly. Now I want to use it. So I'll go into maps and go to just any level. So you can go to any level. I'll go here and I will go again. Remember, the main thing is this character, that kind of generic NPC character, which I put over here in the core folder. This character, which right now is aiming at Bernice, but it could be aiming at whatever. I'm just going to bring it in, but it brings in Bernice with no clothes on. Brings in just the generic version of Bernice. I should change the sun so you can see it, but this isn't a tutorial on how to make it look cool. So I've got so I just drug in the character. Now all the characters will look like just the space character until I hit play. And when I hit play, they go read the data table, and and apply the variant. So how I do that is I've got the character selected, and I have a couple of fields here because it's all data driven. This is key to doing this because this won't be necessary. This can be done by programs or AI or um, sequencers or whatever. So I'm just doing it here by setting it up. And the NPC variant to use was, I believe, Ada Crop Top. I think I called it, didn't I? And nothing happens. But I basically said, when you play the game, this NPC character base, its construction script says, is this set? If it is, go find this NPC variant in that data table and apply it and close it and so on. So if I say play, there is Ada. You've seen this before, but there's Ada, but with the mask applied. So the opacity mask. So that's where I got to. I'm going to call this really version 1 finished. This is, do I have cleanup to do? Sure. But I've got all the components ready to go. The data schema working, all the little pieces working together, and so on. So, and all this kind of stuff I have with those little things, the utility to help me do this. So help me draw season do this. But that could all be done programmatically as well. So I could have, a cinematic sequencer loaded that did all this kind of stuff too as part of a scene. So I have done what I needed to do, and now I only set up 2 of those characters, Bernice and Ada. I have to go in there and set up a character blueprint, not a character blueprint, but a Metahuman blueprint specifically that'll work with this for every character, which means copy it and make sure all the right, pointing to the right skeletal meshes for the Metahuman and the materials. So that'll take a while, but I'm gonna get them all done probably this. I'm gonna do like 5 a day. It takes about less than 10 minutes. More like 5 minutes to do it once I'm on a roll per character, to go ahead and set up those characters. And once they're set up, I'll never have to do it again. Okay, so that's it.